Ever wondered how ancient wisdom can help us cope with modern-day grief? Today, we'll dive into 14 Stoic teachings that offer profound insights on dealing with grief. These time-tested principles are not just relics of the past, but practical guides that can transform our approach to loss and suffering. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and give this video a thumbs up if you find it helpful. Also, don't forget to share your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. First, let's explore the Stoic concept of Amor Fati, or love of fate. This principle encourages us to accept everything that happens in our lives, including loss and suffering, as necessary parts of our journey. When we embrace our fate, we stop resisting the natural flow of life. This doesn't mean we won't feel pain, but it helps us see that every experience, even the difficult ones, has value. By accepting what we cannot change, we free ourselves from the grip of endless what-ifs and what-could-have-beens. Next is Memento Mori, which means remember you will die. This isn't about being morbid, it's about recognizing the impermanence of life. When we understand that life is fleeting, we appreciate each moment and each person in our lives more deeply. This awareness can be a powerful tool for coping with grief. By keeping the inevitability of death in mind, we are reminded to cherish our loved ones while they are still here, and to find meaning in their memories after they are gone. Stoicism also teaches us about Sympatheia, the understanding that we are all interconnected. When we lose someone, it's easy to feel isolated in our grief. However, recognizing that we are part of a larger human community can provide comfort. We are not alone in our suffering. Others have felt and are feeling the same pain. This collective experience can be a source of strength and solidarity. The fourth teaching is Premeditatio Malorum, or the premeditation of evils. This practice involves mentally preparing ourselves for potential hardships. By contemplating the worst-case scenarios, we are better equipped to handle them when they occur. This doesn't mean we should dwell on negative thoughts, but rather we should acknowledge that loss and suffering are part of life. When we are mentally prepared for these challenges, they become more manageable. Let's move on to Eudaimonia, often translated as flourishing or living in accordance with nature. Stoics believe that true happiness comes from living a virtuous life, rather than seeking external pleasures. When we focus on developing our character and virtues, we build inner resilience that helps us cope with grief. The loss of external things, including loved ones, becomes less devastating when our sense of self-worth is grounded in our own actions and choices. Another important teaching is the concept of Apatheia, which is not indifference, but rather emotional equilibrium. Stoics strive to maintain a balanced state of mind, unaffected by external circumstances. This doesn't mean we should suppress our emotions, but rather we should aim to respond to them with reason and composure. When faced with grief, maintaining apatheia helps us navigate our emotions without being overwhelmed by them. The seventh teaching is Logos, or the rational principle that governs the universe. Stoics believe that everything happens according to a divine reason. Even if we can't always understand it, trusting in this rational order can provide solace when we face incomprehensible loss. By aligning ourselves with Logos, we find peace in the belief that there is a greater purpose behind our suffering. Next, let's discuss the dichotomy of control. This teaching reminds us to focus on what we can control and let go of what we cannot. Grief often stems from feeling powerless over the loss of a loved one. By redirecting our energy toward what we can influence, our thoughts, actions, and attitudes, we regain a sense of agency. This shift in perspective allows us to cope with grief more effectively. Stoicism also emphasizes the importance of virtue, which is the highest good. The four cardinal virtues, wisdom, courage, justice, and temperance, serve as a moral compass in times of grief. When we act virtuously, we honor the memory of those we've lost and find purpose in our actions. Virtue helps us navigate the pain of loss with dignity and integrity, turning our suffering into an opportunity for growth. The 10th teaching is mindfulness, or the practice of being present. In the midst of grief, our minds often wander to the past or future. amplifying our pain. By staying present and fully experiencing each moment, we can alleviate some of this suffering. Mindfulness helps us process our emotions in real time, rather than getting lost in endless rumination. Another key principle is cosmic perspective. This involves seeing our personal struggles within the vast context of the universe. While our grief feels immense, it is one small part of the larger tapestry of existence. This perspective can provide a sense of relief, reminding us that life goes on and that our suffering, though significant, is a natural part of the human experience. Next, let's delve into resilience, the ability to adapt and bounce back from adversity. Stoicism teaches that we can cultivate resilience through practice and reflection. By regularly engaging with Stoic exercises such as journaling and self-examination, we build the mental fortitude needed to withstand life's hardships. Resilience doesn't mean we won't feel pain, but it does mean we can recover from it and continue moving forward. The 13th teaching is acceptance. Stoics advocate for accepting reality as it is, rather than wishing it were different. This acceptance is not passive resignation but an active embrace of the present moment. When we accept our grief, we begin to work through it, rather than resisting it. This acceptance allows us to integrate our loss into our lives and find a new sense of normalcy. Finally, we have gratitude. Even in the face of loss, there are still things to be grateful for. The time we had with our loved ones, the memories we've created, and the lessons we've learned. Practicing gratitude shifts our focus from what we've lost to what we still have. This doesn't mean ignoring our grief, but rather balancing it with an appreciation for the positive aspects of our lives. In conclusion, these 14 Stoic teachings provide a comprehensive framework for coping with grief. By embracing principles like Amor Fati, Memento Mori, Sympatheia, Premeditatio Malorum, Eudaimonia, Apatheia logos, the dichotomy of control, virtue, mindfulness, cosmic perspective, resilience, acceptance, and gratitude, we can navigate our suffering with wisdom and grace. Remember, grief is a natural part of life, and while it's a difficult journey, it is also an opportunity for growth and self-discovery. If you found this video helpful, don't forget to subscribe to our channel, hit the notification bell, and give it a thumbs up. We'd love to hear your thoughts and experiences in the comments below. Thank you for watching, and may these Stoic teachings bring you comfort and strength in your time of grief.